Ready? Okay. Well, now we're ready to start our walk around. So there's a lot of things that I look for. So I'm going to check all the support equipment. I'm going to make sure we have wheel chocks down so nothing's going to roll in either direction. Everything should have a static line and be grounded to something, so I'll be looking for those. I'll make sure that our cones are out and everything looks good. And I'll also pay attention to wind direction to make sure that we spot our bleed trailer in the right direction. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at our triplex right here. We're going to make sure that our spill dikes are down and that nothing's leaking in them. We're going to make sure we got our wheel chocks and that everything's grounded. And then there's also tags on all your triplexes to make sure they've been recently tested. So those are things you're going to look for on the triplex. So as we can see, our triplex looks pretty good. If you come around a little bit this way, this is our PSV, and there's a date here from last year. As long as it's within 3 years, you're good. This one's from August 2013, so we've got a good rating on this triplex. You can see the spill dike, it's down. I don't see anything that's looking like it's leaking. From here, you got the static line that'll come and it'll ground to your well. So I make sure that it's out and attached. And then the last thing I'm going to look for, make sure that we got our wheel chocks down so this thing's not going to roll away. Well, let's get you good. So let's walk around the front of the triplex and then back towards the unit. As we come around, we'll also see right here, all of our equipment should come with shutdown buttons. So this is the ESD button for the triplex. When the guys pick up the equipment and they're first bringing it onto location, they should be function testing us to make sure that it'll actually shut down in case of emergencies. If I hit it, I should shut everything down. Now we're going to do a walk around the SlickLine unit and make sure everything's good. What we're looking for, make sure that the wheel chocks are down, make sure that your spill dikes are down and nothing appears to be leaking. So we'll just do a quick loop around the unit. Let's go have a look. Okay, we see that we have our wheel chocks down right here. Right here we notice that there's a line coming from this wheel, and if you trace it back, it goes all the way to our crane. So again, we're supposed to be grounding all of our equipment. Moving right along, all I'm doing is keeping my eyes on these yellow spill dikes right here. The third hand in your crew should be doing walkarounds every hour, checking all of the things that we're going to review. When you have a good stopping point, you should also do walkarounds or join your third hand to do the walkaround so that you can check everything out, make sure nothing's leaking and everything's operating correctly. Also, when I walk around, I look for any oily sheens or something that might be suspiciously like a leak. I'll keep my eyes open for those as I do my walk around as well. Oops. Good. As I come around the front of my unit, I also will take a look at my control of work cones, make sure they're still out, make sure my signs are still standing. The wind will blow these over, so you might have to pick them up. Make sure that everyone can always be able to call in and contact us if they need us. Next is our bleed trailer. So one of the important things that you need to notice for bleed trailers is which way the wind is blowing. You always want to make sure when you bleed it's going downwind away from your unit. What you're going to look for on location is something called a windsock. They're all over the place, but on this location, if you look way down there, you'll see this orange looking flag flying. It's going straight back, so that's our wind direction right now. It's because sometimes mid-job you have to stop and move your bleed trailer somewhere else. You can see we've got a hose connected to our bleed trailer right now. Whenever we have hoses, we want to make sure that they have whip checks on them. Right here you have your whip check. It's in case the line breaks, it's going to try to prevent it from whipping around. That's the purpose of your whip check. All right, now let's do a loop around our bleed trailer. We can see right here, static line, so this should be connected to something. I'm also going to go ahead and look down for our wheel chocks to make sure that they're out. Following our line, that's what we're going to do next. So this is the static line. It's coming from the bleed trailer, and it's going to run into your well house. It should be grounded, typically to like a lockdown screw is what it's grounded to. It shouldn't be grounded to the well house itself. You want to actually run it to the well, and you can see that it's connected behind me to a lockdown screw. All right, so we've checked our triplex. We've done a walk around the SlickLine unit. We've checked our bleed trailer. That just leaves the crane itself. Let's go check out the crane. Before I get to my crane, I notice as I walk up, I've got a connection here. It's leading back to the bleed trailer. But whenever we have a connection, which are breaking the hose, again, we need our whip check, which is right here. And we need our, it's a little small slot tank to catch anything that might be leaking. So for the crane, again, I'm looking for a lot of the same things. I'm looking for my spill dikes, make sure nothing's leaking in them and that they're dry. Also for your crane, your outriggers need to be down, and you've got outrigger boards that all the outriggers should be resting on. And they shouldn't be like off-centered, but they should be right in the middle. So make sure those outriggers are out, that they got their outrigger boards down. All right, another little grounding strap. This is grounding the crane to our wellhead. So you see it's attached right here to our crane. It's grounding the crane to your wellhead. You can see it's attached to the wellhead right here. So everything's grounded. You can also see there's a little static line right here. This is running from our triplex. So if you trace the static line for our triplex, it'll also go back to this wellhead. It's also grounded right here. There's a bear in the area, so for our safety, we need to go back into the unit and muster. Guys, make sure to close the door behind you. Some areas you get bear warnings. Security usually watches the bears pretty closely, and whenever they get into your work area, they'll call and let you know you're supposed to head into your unit or your truck somewhere pretty safe and just muster until the bear is out of the area.
That bear is about 300 yards off the edge of the pad. He's on basically our side of the access road now.
Nice. Okay, thanks, man. Thank you for the heads up.
So we'll wait for the all clear, and then we will complete our walk around. All right, so we got the all clear from the bear, so we'll go ahead and just finish our walk around. We looked at the triplex, we looked at the SlickLine unit, we looked at the bleed trailer and the crane. So you can go ahead and just glance in the well house. You want to look at your equipment stack in your wellhead. Make sure there's no visible leaks, nothing's leaking or frosted over. So we start down here from the bottom of the wellhead. We pretty much visually work our way up, and we're looking at our stack all the way up to the lubricator. I don't see anything frosted, nothing's leaking, so we're good to go. And that brings us to the end of our walk around. When you're finished with your walk around, let your operator know that you're out of his area and it's all clear. That way, if he was holding off on work, he can resume and know that you're out of the way and safe. Now we're going to begin our rig down. We'll unstack from the well and then begin unstacking all of our PCE. From there, we're going to lay the crane down and we're going to pick up all of our signs for control of work. We're going to call the operator, have him come out, look at the location, make sure everything looks good. He's going to close out our permit and then we'll be ready to roll.
Awesome. Cool, thanks.